So you're considering buying a home this year, but wondering if it's even possible anymore. Even though they've fallen from their 2022 peak, home prices are back on the rise in a serious way. And worse, with mortgage rates stuck in the mid-sixes, the average monthly payment is higher than it's ever been in history. It feels like a terrible time to buy a house, and the Crash Bros are going to tell you that it is. On the other side of the aisle, you have nitwit agents telling you it's actually a great time to buy because it's always a great time to buy because home prices always go up in the long run. On my channel, in this video, I don't argue for or against buying a home. If you need a YouTube pundit to tell you whether or not you can buy a home, the answer is no, you can't. You need to be a grown-up to buy a home, and grown-ups make decisions for themselves. What I try to do on this channel is teach the best methods for buying a home regardless of the market conditions. In good markets and bad, Americans start families, settle down, upsize or downsize, and whether the timing's perfect or not, buying a home makes sense. And if you do it right, regardless of the market, you can also make some dollars. How about that for some wordplay? And I'm not pulling this stuff out of my ass either. As a realtor and real estate investor, I look at the data to guide my thinking. So that's where we're going to start, with the specific data that points to the best strategy for buying a home in 2023's crazy housing market. Redfin just published this pretty fascinating piece with the headline, "Investors Lost Money on 14% of Homes They Sold in March, nearly the highest share since 2016. Scrolling down to the marquee chart really tells a lot. Now, Redfin is looking at investor sales, which means homes purchased by a company or trust, not an individual, since January 2020, then sold by March 2023. This is a rather broad definition of investor, but to get a sense of what's happening in the market, I'll take it. What we see is that the percentage of homes sold at a loss has shot up from 2.8% last May to 13.5% this March. Over the same time frame, the median capital gain of an investor property has fallen from $199,000 to $146,000, representing a gain of 45.9%, down from the pandemic peak of 67.9%. Now, Crash Bros are going to tell you that this is clear evidence of a huge crash, bigger than the Great Recession. And numbskull agents are going to tell you that investors are marginal, don't matter, and the market's fine. The truth, and the buying strategy it points to, lies somewhere in between. Firstly, if we highlight the pricing peaks in 2007 and 2022, we can see how today is trending differently than last time. Then, the share of investor homes that sold at a loss started trending up about 2 years before the pricing peak, then just exploded all the way up to about 70% as prices fell. In the 9 months since the 2022 pricing peak, we've seen an upward trend in underwater sales from a 2.8% low to holding steady around 13.5%. The investor crunch we're feeling today is just a massive order of magnitude smaller than in 07-08, and we really see that down here in the median capital gain chart. During the last bubble, capital gains peaked about 2 years before pricing peaked, and were already in free fall when pricing began to drop. This time around, investor gains peaked with the pricing peak and are now holding steady about 15 points below that peak. So again, investors are getting crunched, but not nearly as hard as during the Great Recession. So what does that mean for regular home buyers and the best strategy to pursue when buying a home in this environment? Well, what I've seen in my market is that investors, and now I'm talking specifically about flippers have gotten a little more particular. With margins down and appreciation cooled, the flippers in my market are being a little more careful, a little more circumspect about the houses they pursue. And that benefits the savvy homebuyer. Why? Let me show you. Let's say your local housing market has 10 homes for sale, and we'll organize them from the worst condition to best condition. So the home furthest on the left is practically a teardown, and the home furthest on the right is the nicest, cleanest, most recently renovated home on the market. Now, in a typical market, let's say about 6 of these homes, the top 60% in terms of condition, are move-in ready. I'm making this number up, but this is what I've observed in my market, so let's go with it. These 6 homes are turnkey. Just turn the key, move your furniture in, and you're good to go. Maybe a roof line needs caulking or the hot water heater needs to be replaced, but any issue can be taken care of the day after closing escrow, and boom, you've got your dream home. Of course, these homes are going to sell for their market value, which means if the market drops, the new owners will be losing equity in their homes. At the other end of this market of 10 houses, there's usually one house that's clearly going to a flipper. It's barely livable as it is and listed at a huge discount to its repaired value. This home gets cash offers and moves quick. As a traditional home buyer buying with a loan and a 30-day escrow period, you don't even have a shot at it. That leaves us with these 3 homes in the middle. These 3 homes aren't in such bad shape that only flippers will consider them, but they're also not in good enough shape to be sold at market value. These homes need a little work, but are also listed at a decent discount to market price. These are the kinds of homes I love to find for my clients. Now, when the housing market is raging, like it was in 2021 and the beginning of 2022, flippers are going to go beyond the obvious flip and scoop up some of these homes. When the median flipper capital gain is 67% and prices are climbing, flippers are going to pick off at least 2 out of these 3. This leaves just 1 discounted home on the market for a savvy buyer to find. If you watch Meet Kevin, you've heard him talk about wedge deals. This 1 out of 10 home is the wedge deal. But today, in 2023, with the median flipper capital gain down to 45% and prices still faltering in many markets, flippers fall back to what they know and free up these 2 houses for regular buyers offering with a loan and a traditional 30-day escrow. So look, even though new listings are way down right now, even though the dominant story out there is the incredible dearth of supply, what we have is a tripling of discounted homes that are actually available to normal home buyers. These homes give savvy home buyers an opportunity to buy a home and immediately create equity, adding to their net worth while also insulating them against market fluctuations. How? Let me give you 3 concrete strategies to pursue in today's market. Number 1, execute a live-in flip, which is exactly what it sounds like. You buy a home that's livable but dated, then update it while living there. In doing so, by tackling the house 1 project at a time, you're able to save a significant amount of money over hiring a general contractor to renovate the whole thing at once. And the easier tasks you can handle yourself, saving further dollars. And you'd be surprised how inexpensive it is to have Home Depot lay down new carpeting. And did you know that appliances come with free installation? Repainting cabinets is inexpensive and easy, and you'd be shocked by what a difference a new countertop on existing cabinets can make. I'm coming out with a video soon exploring the most profitable live and flip projects, so subscribe to make sure that video ends up on your screen. Strategy number 2, buy a home with a renovation loan. So a normal loan is based on the value of the house you're buying. With a conventional loan, you can borrow up to 95% of the home's cost. If a home costs $500,000, you can borrow $475,000 for the purchase. A renovation loan works like a normal loan, but you can borrow up to 95% of the home's after repair value. So if you find a $400,000 fixer that will be worth $500,000 once it's fixed up, you can borrow up to $475,000 to both buy the house and execute the renovation. You have to hire a licensed contractor to complete the work within 6 months of buying, and then boom, you move into your renovated home that you picked up at a discount. Where's the discount? Well, the cost of renovating a home is typically less than the home value you create. That's the whole premise of flipping. So with a renovation loan, you're the flipper and end user at the same time without doing any of the work yourself. Interesting, right? At the end of this video, I'll link to my Reno loan series that goes into all the details. Strategy number 3, buy a fixer with a conventional loan, then open a construction HELOC, that's a home equity line of credit, to renovate the property. This strategy is a little advanced, and as far as I know, this construction HELOC product is only available in California, Arizona, and Oregon. The basics are akin to buying with a renovation loan, but you're granted much more construction flexibility, and you're able to borrow up to 125% of the after repair value. Why would you ever borrow more money than the home will ultimately be worth? Well, it makes sense if you use part of the home, like an ADU or granny flat, to generate rental income with either long-term tenants or through Airbnb. If you're in California, Arizona, or Oregon and want to know more, let me know in the comments, and check out this video for more on reno loans and the equity they can create.